Sasha, thanks for that. The 8 News Now investigators also on the story tonight asking how young is too young for an adult murder charge.
Keeping in mind one of those young men charged for that Rancho High School murder, just 13. 8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne joins us now. Kyle, it's not an easy question.
Denise, Brian, not an easy question whatsoever. 4 of those kids range in age from 13 to 15. It raises questions of law and of science, and there are no clear answers.
We're just feeling a lot of, obviously a lot of really deep pain. And
unspeakable pain for the father of the 17-year-old Rancho High School student beaten to death by this group of teenagers. Most of the accused are now behind bars.
Next, I have 3 co-defendants. I'm going to call all 3 at the same time. So this would be Damian Hernandez, Dontrell Bieber, and Johnny Robinson.
We've seen the faces of the older ones.
Doesn't have a history before the court.
But we have to blur the faces of the younger ones because the law considers them kids, juveniles, being processed in juvenile court in a juvenile courtroom by juvenile court judges and hearing masters. But what those teenagers are accused of doing, killing another juvenile, has some pretty heavy adult ramifications.
I don't disagree that it's not an easy thing to understand how a 13-year-old could commit murder. But I don't want to exclude it from being possible.
Possible, says Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson, and even likely, based on each defendant's role in the beating.
Depends on the facts and circumstances. A lot of it depends on the attitude of that individual. Were they a follower of others? Were they a leader? How much of their behavior contributed to the ultimate demise of this young man?
A 13-year-old in Pueblo arrested for first-degree murder.
Young men making news, being arrested for murder all over the country. Not just in this one case, and not just in Las Vegas.
A teen accused of murder in Dillon County will be tried as an adult.
And some being treated like adults, even at 13.
Today, the state attorney and police chief issuing a stern warning that no matter your age, if you commit a crime with a gun, you will face consequences.
Meaning Wolfson isn't the only prosecutor making decisions like whether to certify young teenagers for murder as adults.
We're not talking about a 6-year-old. We're not talking about an 8-year-old.
We're also not talking about a fully developed adult either.
Psychologist Dr. Michelle Paul trains our next generation of mental and behavioral health providers at UNLV, who agreed to speak in general terms and not about any particular case, says 13-year-olds are still just as much children as they are adults, that their brains are still developing, especially the area behind the forehead, one of the last parts of the brain to mature. And that's the part that deals with problem solving and impulse. And that's where a brain begins to think ahead to decisions that can lead to life-altering consequences.
You haven't lived enough life to even know what potential consequences are.
Dr. Paul says brain science is clear, that the brain develops well into a person's 20s, as we see in this fact sheet from the National Institute of Mental Health.
Is the adolescent developmentally mature enough to be held fully legally culpable and responsible for their actions, equivalent to a fully mature adult?
Most of them haven't even gone through puberty.
The age of youthful offenders being tried as adults comes up often in our state legislature, most recently in February at the latest session in Carson City, where we heard timely testimony from the director of Clark County's Juvenile Division, Assistant DA Bridget Duffy, on that question of how to handle 13-year-olds in the system.
I'm not sure I'm there for 13-year-olds because when we look at the world we're living in today, I can't imagine now, sadly, a world where a 13-year-old takes a firearm to a mall and kills other children.
Duffy and the other prosecutors in Clark County's juvenile system have only prosecuted one 13-year-old as an adult in the last 6 years, and only 4 14-year-olds. Compare that with 180 16-year-olds and 278 17-year-olds. Duffy, telling the state Senate, dealing with the younger violent juvenile defenders is a minefield for the justice system in Clark County.
In juvenile, I mean, we don't have anything. We have been asking for session after session to create programs that would help us to treat violent offenders in the juvenile system until they turn of age. But we don't have anything. Well, there's frankly nothing in the adult system.
And Wolfson taking a more practical approach to the question, is 13 too young to prosecute?
I think to answer your question fairly, Depends on the 13-year-old. I think there are some 13-year-olds that are more mature and more advanced than others.
DA Wolfson told me police are using those other 5 videos of the beating to determine who did what. He also said those videos are even worse than the one in tonight's story. Those 4 younger teenagers will be back in court in early January, Ryan.